What is up? Thank you for coming to my channel, Prison POV. Shout out to the joiners, shout out to the point of view crew, and trip on this. My long-term memory is banging. It's on point. It's one of my superpowers. Now my short-term memory, sucks arse. That's why I always lose everything, because I put something here, immediately forget that I put it there, and now it's lost. Because I don't know where it's at. But my long-term memory, banging. That's why I'm so shocked. That's why I'm so surprised to learn, to find out that I forgot the story for today's video. The topic of today's video, I was in a Scared Straight program, slipped my mind. Forgot all about it. I mean, in my defense, it was all the way back when I was 14, but hey, that's no excuse, because further back the memory, homeboy, the more sharper I am with it. Be that as it may, obviously not, because I forgot about being in a Scared Straight program. There are a couple differences though. It wasn't called Scared Straight, and also the Scared Straight program that you've heard of, you've probably seen, what they do is they take the troubled youth from off the streets, out of high school, they're living with their parents, and they take them into an institution. They get browbeat by the inmates, to whereas we were already locked up. We're locked up at KYF, and they brought in all these prisoners to browbeat us. But in order to give you the whole story, give you all the color, homeboy, and all the detail that comes along with it, we're going to have to just back up just a little tiny bit to give some context. So trip on this. When I was 14, I did a burglary. Me and my homeboy Ronnie and his old lady Camille broke in this dude Roland's house because Roland fell out of favor with everybody. He was in our crew, homeboy, and he fell out of favor. The reason is everyone loved Ronnie's mom. Loved her. She could do no wrong. I mean, you can go to Ronnie's house and drink and smoke and sleep, shower, eat. His mom, you could ditch school and his mom would call the school, pretend to be your mom. She would bail the older homeboys out of jail. Just everybody loved her, homeboy. She was everybody's mom, put it that way. So that's why when she was real worried about Ronnie and she was calling around, she couldn't find him, and she got Roland on the phone. And even though Roland knew where Ronnie was, he lied. Told Ronnie's mom, no, I don't know where he's at. Kept her stressing, kept her tripped out, and that pissed everybody off. Put a target on him, like I said. He'd already been beat up a few times, got put on his pockets, homeboy, and then there I was. I ended up burglarizing his pad. Me, Ronnie, Camille, broke in. Now I'm 14-year-old runaway. I'm just doing it for shits and giggles. I didn't really care about the big-ass VCR, the weighed 100 pounds, probably the first one ever made. I'd run down the streets trying to carry. I didn't care about the big-ass CD player, probably the first one ever made, weighed 100 pounds. I was trying to run down the street and carry him. I just did it for funsies, homeboy. Ended up getting caught. Go to juvie, 5 days for burglary. Now, I didn't have not one bit of problem with juvenile hall. I did that 5 days. The 5 days went by like that. 5 days went by like this. I could have done 50 days. I could have done it standing on my head. They put me in a single-man cell with a stack of Reader's Digest, and I have not one problem. Even to this day, I love Reader's Digest. Who doesn't love a good copy of Reader's Digest, homeboy? Did 5 days, it was Nathan. I got out, didn't program. Actually, yes, I did. I did my own program. I did what I wanted to do. I guess apparently that was unapprovable. No one approved of that. Of me running around, not going to school, doing my own thing. So they snatched me up, called me a program failure, throw me right back in juvie. But this time, instead of 5 days, I'm going to do 6 months at the Kern Youth Facility. But you know, it takes like a month or so for a bed to open up over there at KYF. So I had to go back in juvie for a month or so, waiting to go to KYF. So I'm back in that single-man cell with a stack of Reader's Digest, just doing the damn thing. Not worried about nothing. Till they come one day and they say, hey, you're going to go in the honor room. And I'm like, honor room? I mean, what'd I do? I must have pleased somebody. You're going to honor me? Like, yikes. Yikey shnikey. Awesome sauce. Oh, snap. Like, what does this mean? This is a good thing? I'm picturing I'm going to go in there. Are people going to be feeding me grapes and fanning me off? Am I going to get actually like a brand new issue Reader's Digest instead of these ones that are 2 years old? Like, what's this honor room? Like, it's got to be awesome though. I'm getting honored today, homeboy. They said, get your stuff ready. I go there to the honor room. I go in there, and instead of a mattress this thin, I got a big old mattress like this. I got carpet on the floor. I walk in there, then I realize the honor room comes with the celly. Comes with the celly. Some other dudes in there. Snarf, snarf. Even at 14 years old, I knew this was no bueno. Who would want to take a single man cell and trade it in for a cell that has a celly in it? Charlie Holmes. So I go in there. I got this celly. Now I'm 14, but I look 12. This dude was 16 or 17. He's looking 25. Probably knew how to drive already with a driver's license. He was big and buff, and as I soon found out, knew how to fight. Knew how to fight real good, homeboy, because I'm untrained to fighting like this, and he's doing all the right things, brother. He's trained. And the reason why we fought, got him up very quickly, is because he was a bedwetter. This fool would pee the bed. My new roommate in the so-called honor room. And it was a real kind of pee, too. The kind you could hear, tinkle, tinkle, and smell. Place was straight humming. And I guess he would think to himself, think to himself, like, damn, I might have pissed the bed last night, but at least I could beat this dude up, because he would pee the bed and then rush me. Is the problem with it. Wake up in the morning with a piss-smelled room and happen to sling him. And then the cops would look in, and he'd say he needs new sheets, and they'd look in and say, hey, you guys quit horse playing, you quit wrestling, or we're not going to give you these new sheets. And I'm thinking, wrestling? Like, he has me in the corner, he's like hitting me with the back of the head with an elbow. That's not wrestling, but okay, I'm no snitch, homeboy. Take this ass whooping from this bedwetter. Honor room my ass. Dude, they finally take me out of there, put me over in KYF. KYF was cool. Single man cell. They let you have a plant. They let you have like a little Nerf basketball thing. They let you learn how to crochet. You have a yarn and a needle. Plastic, of course. So you're over there doing your crocheting in a single man cell. They have a speaker. Radio. You listen to the radio. Every cell has like a speaker in it. You have a master radio somewhere. You have a chair and you're jamming out, bro. And you're just, single man cell. They snatched me up. Honor room. Like, you can keep it. Because I remember what happened last time I went to the honor room. But no, this one was even kind of worse. Because instead of one celly, I had two. This is a 3-man honor dorm, if you will. And bro, everything started out good. When there were 2 Mexican dudes, Angel and David, everything was just fine until we had fried chicken. Till the day they gave us fried chicken, then they said, can they have it? They wanted to take mine. I said no, and they jumped me. The weirdest part about it was the next day I thought there'd be like odds and tension, like in the other honor room, me and that dude fight, like we never got over it. We were all, there's tension. These dudes, we fought over the chicken, and they're, hey, everything's good, and we're laughing the next day. Till next time we get fried chicken again, they jump me again. It's like, what in the fizzuck? If you would have asked, I probably would have just gave it to you. Snarf, snarf. What are we going to do? Fight every day? Fried chickens comes out? I quickly end up not liking David and Angel. But how I got my run back, though, the best part about it was Angel was a part of this gang called Primos. I can never forget it. Because every time we got in a fight, every time Angel would push up on me and swing, he'd bang on me. Primos, Primos, he'd say. How could I ever forget it? Then I end up hearing years later that Primos got a green light put on him. For drive-bys. First thing I thought of, what do you think I thought of? Angel. What do you think I thought of one day when I was kicking back and they say, hey, you know that game, the Primos? They got a green light put on it for drive-bys. I thought of, wow, that dude Angel from KYF. Then I seen him at Wasco Reception. And I'm like, hey, what's up, bro? Remember me? And he did not want to make eye contact. He was bobbing and weaving, homeboy. He was avoiding me. He did not want to talk to me at all because he knew I was going to say, where are you from? Oh, that's where you're from? Doesn't sound familiar. I could have swore you were from a place called, I don't know, Primos? Dog, put him on Front Street. Put him on blast. Give him a run back. Let me have your fried chicken. I won't tell everybody used to be from Primos. Anyway, be that as it may, let me get to what the story's all about. The Scared Straight. Scared Straight, homeboy. Now, I need to tell you this. Because this is the only way I can explain our first speaker at the Scared Straight event. KYF was co-ed. Just barely does, barely co-ed. The girls girls were in 1A, and the guys were in 1B, 2A, 2B, 3A, 3B, 4A, 4B. So all these wings of guys, and the girls just had 1A. So some girls, a little bit of co-ed, kinda. I never seen them. We didn't even go to school with them. But that's the only way I can explain our first speaker, like I said, who was a female, and who showed up She must have said, oh, KYF is co-ed. There's females there. Okay, good, because I'm going to show up with my message, which is tailor-made for females. So then the real shocker, surprising thing is that when she stepped up to deliver her message, it's all just, hey, just nothing but a bunch of us guys, that she didn't arrange her speech into such a way as to be more appealing to the audience. She should have took her audience in mind, saw that, and on the fly, just like rearranged her words just a little bit, because she came out swinging a shape like, you guys could be moms one day. Like, what? Moms? No, we're not. She's like, yeah, that's what I thought too, not having kids. Wait a minute, though. You may be thinking, how's this woman involved in this Scared Straight? You got all these prisoners coming in. They're going to browbeat you guys. Where does she fit in? She fits in where she was not a prisoner, no, but she was married to a guy who was in and out. And she was a battered woman. So battered wife, married to a guy in and out of prison. She wanted to come tell some people who were locked up, females, I guess she thought she'd get the female side of KYF and tell them, hey, don't end up like me, make me some promises. That's what she said to us. Make me some promises. We said, okay, I'll make some promises. Don't make the same mistakes I did. We won't make the same mistakes you did. Don't let a guy hit you. We're like, okay, hey, that's part of the message I get behind. I won't let a guy hit me. Hell no. And she says, because if he does, we say, he doesn't love you. Who doesn't? Come on, repeat after me. If he hits you, he doesn't love you. If he hits you, he doesn't love you. Dude, that's what it was like the whole time. Her whole speech was geared and catered to some females, trying to tell them don't make the same mistake she did, which is marry some dude out of the pen. Don't be some punch a bag for some dude. Don't let him hit you. We won't. So after she gave her message, homeboy, and she left, it was very confusing. We gave her a round of applause. To this day, I still don't understand it. Who invited her there? But then right after that, she leaves, and we're all sitting in a circle. The next guy was even more confusing. When he came on, you quickly forgot about the woman who just told you that you're going to be a mom someday. So she leaves. We're all sitting in a circle. The next guy, he just comes running and plows right in to one of the dudes I was in KYF with, knocking him on his chair over and takes his shoes off, jumps up, takes his shoes off. They both fell down and threw it at him. I'm looking around. The most surprising thing, it was surprising that he did that. It was. But more surprising was nobody said or did anything. Nobody batted an eye. I'm looking around at the staff in KYF and the guards that brought the prisoners. No one's batting an eye except for the kid that was a KYF. He was batting an eye. He was batting an eye. Actually, he was crying. He was crying. And later on, of course, we made fun of him and said, dude, you cried when that guy plowed into you and knocked your shoes off and threw them at you. Cry, baby. And he said, I only cry when I get mad. He made me super mad. And much as I actually thought, like, I'm going to have to use that someday. If I actually end up crying in front of people, I will say, I only cry when I get mad. So that guy came on, did his thing, walked around and browbeat us. He leaves. We get another guy comes on. Walking in a circle, yelling at us, but cussing. Cussing and cussing and cussing. One cuss word after another. And you're thinking to yourself, man, you're in jail, true, but you're at a kid's jail. You know, Kern Youth Facility, not a Kern facility. You know, it is Kern Youth Facility after all. You're around a bunch of kids and you're just F-bomb. And finally some of the adults, KYF said, hey, trying to cuss so much. And he's like, kept going. One of the cops that brought him came over and hit him in the neck with a stick, with a baton. Because they warned him not to cuss. He gave a cuss word back. He was being disrespectful. I guess they thought so. Came over, hit him in the neck with a stick. Now, see, that was not the most shocking part about, though. That was shocking to see a guy walk up, a guard hit him with a stick, and he fall down. That was shocking. But the most shocking part was, again, no one batted an eye. The grabbed him by an ankle and just dragged him out of there. But then the cop came in the middle of the circle, aimed his stick at us. Said, I didn't plan on saying this, but here I am. You don't need to be afraid of the dude that's going to knock you over and take your shoes. You don't need to be afraid of the dude that's going to cuss you out, put you in a corner, and beat you up. You need to be afraid of me. Because I'm the one that's going to take the stick and knock your head off. You need to be worried about me if you come into my prison, not these inmates, not these other inmates. They're just like you, but no, I'm not like you. I'm here to knock your head off with a stick. So then this cop walks around browbeating us. You should be worried about me. You should be worried about me. We are. But then our last speaker, bro. Our last speaker. Very confusing at the time. In hindsight, not so much. Because let me say this, like I said, 14 years old, runaway. But when I said runaway, I didn't mean I just, ran in the streets of Bakersfield. Homeboy, I jumped on Greyhound buses and I hitchhiked and I went way up north. I went way down south LA, Pomona, Sacramento. I went to all these punk rock shows. I was in everything and up to everything, and I was all that in a big bucket of boats, and I kicked up dust and I ran amok. I was about it. I was a serious, hardcore runaway, but I didn't do any drugs. No drugs, didn't dabble in them. No one offered them to me. Drank a little bit. It wasn't until later when I got older and in hindsight thought back to different situations. I was like, dude, those people must have been high when that happened. One time a dude almost tried to kidnap me. I told that story before. He was high as a kite. At the time I thought he was acting weird. Some tweaked out weirdo tried to kidnap me after a show one time at a punk rock flop house. Dude, I didn't know anything about drugs. I just went. But think people acted weird. So when I was in KYF and I saw this dude like this, I'm thinking he's tired. Now in hindsight, I know what was up. He was high as a kite. Back then, I mostly stared at this dude almost the whole time. When there was inmates and convict walking around browbeating us, when there was this woman walking around saying you're going to have kids one of these days, you're going to be a mom, I was just staring at this guy like, what is wrong with him? I seen mother against the wall, and he was out of it. Like, what's up with that dude? Is he going to talk? How's he going to talk? And you know what it reminded me of? Let me just put the story in real quick, because it fits like a glove. Let me tell you about my homeboy Raymond from Oildale. I'm at Kern County Jail, male minimum, the farm, with my homeboy Raymond. He goes out to an outside work crew to hit. He's going to hit some Garaga. He's going to hit some black tar. See, he gets it, he hits it, you know, he's supposed to hoop it, bring it back. The people are going to break him off fat for doing that, for bringing it in. It's not his. He's hitting it for somebody. He goes out there and gets it, and he decides to bust into it. He's not patient. He can't wait till he gets back to the farm and just give it to them, let them break him off, and then he gets high. No, he's like, I'm going to get high now. They'll never know. I'm going to break into it. I'm going to wrap it up so good. I'll put an extra finger on it. They'll never know. No, they didn't know by looking at the clavo that he broke into it. They knew by looking at him. Raymond burned himself off because he was so high and he couldn't play it off. Surprised the cops didn't know, but they didn't. And he came back from that outside work crew, and he had that clavo hooped, and he had broke into it, but they couldn't tell because he had it wrapped up real good. But he was as high as a kite. And he came to gate 1, is where they bring you. Outside work crew and court, everybody's work exchange. They take the chains off you and just search you and all that. He wouldn't come back to his barracks. He stayed at gate 1. Scared to go back there because I knew as soon as they saw him, they're going to beat his ass, homeboy, for getting into it. It was obvious. He sent someone to come get me. They came up. Splinter. Raymond's down at gate 1. He wants to talk to him. I'm like, what? What do you mean? He's scared to come back to his barracks. Dude. Go talk to him. I went back to gate 1. I saw that fool. I was like, damn, dog, you broke into, you fucking idiot. There's no way he could play this off. Dude, he had to work out a big arrangement. He had to jump through all kinds of hoops to not get his freaking wind took from him. Of course, he didn't get broke off. Of course, he lost his job. No one trusted him. He'll never be able to go out and hit for anybody ever again. But I say all that to say this. At that Scared Straight, that's what this next speaker looked like. Raymond. Couldn't play it off. And they actually called him up to speak. And when he couldn't talk, they just took his ass out of there. There were so many people get yanked around, jerked around, dragged by their ankles. Bro, it was quite an event. The best part about that, they didn't make us go to the school that day. There was a barbecue. I love seeing that bully getting slammed to the ground and his freaking shoes took off his feet. And homie, it was a grand event. I can't believe I ever forgot it. About to cut string and let it fly. My next 2 videos, I'm going to tell you how this Fresneck, this Peckerwood from Fresno, this Fresneck, he's the reason for this 3 strikes law. I'm going to break it down. It's a great story. And you know what I thought about today? I'm going to break down how do PCs go from being GP to PC? How do they do it? How do they roll it up? Do they drop a kite on themselves? Do they go running into the program office? Do they have their people call in? How do they do it? How do they get the cops' attention when they're GP? Like, I want to be PC now. How do they go from GP to PC? How do they roll it up? So my next videos, hope you enjoyed this one. None but the most love and respect for you and yours. Cut the string, let it fly. Peace.